Okay, okay. Now I need to work the filters again. There we go. Okay, that should. Okay. Everything should be working now. Maybe. Sorry I'm late, everybody. But, the reason the reason behind my lateness is that my mother is a butthole who blatantly admitted 5 minutes ago, approximately, that she does not think of me or my live stream. I'm aware that she's, somewhat joking about these things, but I'm still not surprised that she chose to be a butthole. So, forgive me as I do some of the stream prep right here, right now. Like, putting my socks on. Because I got a lot of ash on the plastic thingy that allows my chair to roll on the carpet without any kind of, terrible consequences. So there's that. Anyway, I need to get all my things set up. So we need to mute the desktop audio so that way the game doesn't interfere just yet. I've forgotten what I was doing. Oh, right. We need to make sure that the stream is working, which means that I need the thingy. I need the thingy for the stream. This thingy. No, this thingy. I need this thingy to be elsewhere. Alright. One of these days, now that I've got these Jobises, I will be able to get stream up and ready on time instead of, rushing to work it now. Okay, and then do that. Okay. It appears to be working. Let me actually listen. Wait. Yeah, desktop audio left. Let me actually listen to myself a little bit. No, I am still too quiet. Hold on. Let me move in here. Yeah, or do I need to turn up the gain? I'm gonna turn up the gain some more just so I can sit just a little bit further away. Okay, let's try it with that much gain and see what I sound like in a few moments on this part. Well, it seems to be about 30 seconds behind. Right, this isn't maximum volume, is it not? Okay, no. That is not working. Okay. Okay, so now we need a... Alright, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. I guess I'll just speak up a little bit and, stay close to the mic. And we'll just kind of hope for the best there, I guess. I'm watching the live stream, trying to see if I can fucking hear myself. God, wow, this is terrible. This is terrible. Tonor, microphone, it's at 100%. I can't turn it up anymore. Sync offset. Downmix to mono. No. No, that's probably not going to help us. Okay. Alright. 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 Fine. Sample rate, channels. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to mess with Streamlabs, it's at some point in the future about, the problems. And let me just mute the live stream and I'll just page back to it as I need. Ugh. Okay. Alright, let me just, get game to work in the background and do its thing a little bit while I Yeah, wait a minute. I unplugged this from the one port and plugged it into. That's why. That's why. That's why. Hold on a second. That's why. That's why. Auxiliary device. That's why. Okay, I think I suddenly understand. I think I suddenly understand. And so I don't know. I'll look up a tutorial or something on how to uh you know, do Streamlabs better so that way I can actually be heard a little bit better. Or maybe I just need to blow this shit off the mic. I don't know. Then again, I am also not speaking particularly loudly as it is almost 7 in the morning. And, that would be not cool. But at the same time, if I, lived alone, I would definitely be, you know, speaking up. But this is about my normal speaking volume, too. I'm not that quiet for Breath. Well, then again, I haven't recorded a Breath of the Wild video for some time. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe I'm just crazy. And I already know that in all aspects but physical, I have lost my fucking mind. But there's reasons for that. There's reasons for that. It's because it's just because of the magnitude of the projects that I work on that just drive me fucking insane. For example, before I went into the shower late, uh, I was working on figuring out how to make monster encounters for VTC. The RPG, the tabletop RPG I'm working on, right? Considering it's pretty heavily based off of D&D and Pathfinder, I thought, maybe if I look at entries of monsters from the bestiary at certain challenge ratings, I can figure out how to reverse engineer their thought processes. And then I reverse engineered some of their thought processes. And then I looked at it and went, yeah, this is not going to work out. These monsters are not going to be sufficient challenge after a certain point into the player base. And so I have decided to drop the whole oh, I'm going to try and reverse engineer their thought processes, and instead have opted to just create my own based around mathematics and the challenge rating being the key variable, meaning that all of the formulas will be there. I will develop them. All the prospective DM needs to do is go, oh, well, I want a fight that will be challenging for players of level 6, and then just put in the number 6, and it will generate all of the values that you need. At least the Excel sheet will, the book will actually have it laid out. It's like, okay, do this, okay, do that, blah, blah, blah. What does the monster do? Does it have any special abilities? Is it going to kill them? Is it does it just kill them, or are we going to kill them with style? Okay. Before we get any further into the insanity that is going to be, today's smoke, I am covering up the band with my fingers, is the Sereno Wayfarer. This is one of the original blends that I bought a few years ago, and they have been finally aging in one of the humidors, the one that I bought specifically for the Sereno originals. So, they've been there for 2 years, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go look through chat logs to find out when a certain meme was posted, because it was posted around the same time. So, it's a meme about me spending $1,000 on smoke, on, well, cigars. In reality, I spent like $1,250. you know, for the smokes and the humidor and the fucking taxes because because I hate the government, you know. Anyway, let me get this bad boy cut and lit up. That way we can that way I can talk about the absolute insanity that I am that I'm probably that I that has caught my attention and thus needs to be done as soon as possible. So that way it's ready for testing by other people who aren't me because I'm not necessarily going to be able to catch the flaws easily. Also, I need to make the damn thingy user friendly so that way, you know, it doesn't that way all Aiden and his roommates have to do and Wezzy is just put in a single number and then the thing will generate the stuff. You know. Anywho, let me let me let me get my legs adjusted. God, they hurt. Okay, let's give this a test draw, shall we? It's been a while since I've had to break out the draw enhancers, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it's got a little bit of a tight draw, but it's not so tight that I don't think that getting some heat on it, or I guess in it in this case, won't you know won't bring it about, won't loosen it up sufficiently. So let's get started, shall we? Mm. Oh shit! Did you guys see that? I don't know if that was on camera. Holy shit! Mm. Definitely mm, definitely a pepperiness to it, but it's also really earthy. Definitely, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got some pepper. It's got some pepper, but it's not the pepper level of something blended by AJ Fernandez. And also, you know, the pepper is just, the burn in the back of my throat. The flavor that's actually, all over the palate, that's earth. That's unmistakable. Hmm. Get a nice beverage. But, yeah. So, anyway, as to the complete insanity that I'm working on. So, yeah, this thinking about how to build encounters is just really something that can happen when you're working on an absolutely gargantuan project and don't have any real deadlines or roadmaps. I mean, we have goals for stuff we want to get done and worked on by the end of the year. And when I say we, I mean myself and my nephew, who helps. Um, but I mean, those goals are pretty I mean, they're relatively easy to accomplish. Like, let's be real here. And so that leaves a lot of room to kind of tinker with other stuff. And when you're working on something this big, any work that you do, on any part of it, provided that you aren't, going back and fucking things up, just kind of improves kind of brings the whole thing closer to completion. Which is might be a weird way to think about it. Not sure, but I don't know. I don't know. Point is, I was thinking about this a lot at work when I was, working the line and kind of in flow, and thought, okay, well, here we go. Really, I started thinking about it because I wanted to get one specific enemy done, so that way I could show off, like, hey guys, look at this one specific enemy, isn't it cool? But I realized that the supplementary systems are not adequate. They're not ready to go. Because in order to actually in order to actually create a monster, it needs to have numbers associated with it to denote how strong it is. And presently, I short of guesswork, presently short of guesswork, that it I don't have a way to create a monster and make it work. All I can do is, like I said, just guess. Go, this is probably close enough to what I want, and then the players would just trash the monster. And and plus this will help the others with their DMing, because I know that Wezzy is a prepper DM. Aiden would probably benefit from being a prepper DM for one shots and whatnot. So this is a tool that will also be able to help them, and so that's why I will build it. Because not everybody can work my style of DMing, where I'm much more improvisational with things, just because I can kind of get a read on the ebb and flow of things during session and figure out where to put, I guess, the spice, as it were, and where to kind of, maybe hold back on it. Let them kind of sink into just a little bit of monotony, just a little bit of boredom, and then bring them in. You know, it's like it's storytelling, but it's in a live setting, and also I'm not reading out of any books. It's all stuck in here because I need to learn how to write a campaign with proper instructions for other people to follow, which means I'm probably going to need to get my hands on a copy of Horde of the Dragon Queen, because that is the one that I've played. That is the D&D campaign I've played twice. No. Yeah, twice. And so I have a relatively good idea of, what, what things in the book would translate to in terms of play, and then I can write that. I can, of course it'll be, in my style. It's like, okay, boom, but it'll be, the structure will bear some similarities to how how Wizards of the Coast write their stuff, so that's what I'll be working on. Well, no, first is the monster thing, to get the monster ready and to show off, like, guys, look at this monster. And then the next thing will be, learning how to actually write a campaign for other people to follow, not just write it so that I can, remember, oh, hey, remember this cool plot point you thought of 6 months ago? Well, you wrote it down, so now you remember it. And I go, oh, thanks, Pass Me, that's really cool. So kind of moving backwards through the week, I guess. You know, it's not been terrible. It's actually been quite restful and relaxing, somewhat. So that's good. That's nice. Um, I was talking to one of my guys yesterday about, hey, Friday's gonna be a long day for me, because I gotta be at the Domino's at 3:30, and then I gotta be at the Taco Bell, and then I gotta do the live stream. And he went, "What's a live stream?" And I said, "Well, it's a live video." And he said, "Well, what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I just talk about, whatever comes to mind." He goes, "So it's a podcast, but video." I went, "Yeah, kind of. It's a one-man podcast because nobody else is here to, for me to bounce conversation off of, because it is 6:45 in the morning, and so not a lot of people who I could invite to the show are awake to converse about these various topics that I think about and talk about on the show. And so here we are with me just kind of ranting outward. That being said, it allows me to sit here and kind of enjoy my cigar. I have kind of sort of figured out the pace. See, that earthiness has kind of taken a back seat to the spice. On Light Up, Earth, was right there, right on all the taste receptor thingies and whatnot, and spice was just hanging out in the back of the throat, just doing its thing. Yeah. Now, it's Earth has kind of gone, all right, later, and we're just left with that spice, with that pepperiness. I did have a smoke yesterday morning. I had the Alec Bradley Tempest, which is it's a nice smoke. One of the local stores keeps it in stock, and they keep it in stock in the Churchill, which is not relevant. But the one that I had yesterday, good lord, I got halfway through it, and the spice just it burned specifically my nostrils so bad that my eyes were almost watering. And so that's when I started to take it a little bit slower, which might have been good, might have not been good, who's to say? I mean, it definitely extended my enjoyment of the smoke. And so I'm going to move over to the side just a little bit so I'm more centered, since we're not gaming yet. But yeah, it was. I mean, I took a big healthy draw off of it, and then was pushing out smoke through my nose, and it just the nostrils, nothing else, not the throat, not the sinuses, not any of that stuff, not no part of my mouth, just in here. It was bizarre, and it was bizarre enough to be noteworthy for me to mention it here, and I don't know, I don't get it. It's whatever. Oh, but it's been an okay week. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I have noticed that there's been some feeling bad, but that's just because for some reason, if I smoke before I go to bed, when I wake up, no matter how much sleep I get, so that could be 4 hours, that could be 8 hours, that could be 10 to 12 hours. It doesn't matter. After I get up, if I go to bed after a smoke, when I get up, I feel bad. And so since I've smoked a little bit more this week, I felt bad. I felt a little bit I felt, bad sometimes this week. But I'm aware of that. I know, okay, just, cut it back. And, that was the idea. But Thursday, what was going on yesterday? It was Thursday going into Friday. Was it hot? It wasn't hot. Donna wasn't there. Was it Domino's? No, because I don't go to Domino's on Thursday. Oh, I think it was just me thinking, oh, fuck, Friday. So I'm going to get a smoke in so I can at least have a little bit more nick in the blood to, keep me calm. Maybe it worked. Maybe that's. I mean, it also helped that today wasn't too bad at either job. So, hey, there's that. More people need to learn how to grill, You know, I say this a lot, but if I had even a fraction of the money that some of these people waste at either of my jobs now, then, well, I'd be a lot wealthier, certainly. And I tell you what, I would not be wasting it at a fast food joint. Now, I probably also wouldn't be spending it at a pizza joint unless Papa John's brings back the Shackaroni pizza, in which case, fucking all bets are off. But provided that the Shackaroni is not back, then with the weather that we've been having, barring the rain, I would probably, I'd probably be thinking, okay, let's get some pork chops or some steaks or some chicken or whatever, fucking corn or whatever on the grill, you know, because it's May. It's May now. It's basically grilling season. So, more people need to grill. And let's not, and that's without even going into saying that it is probably cheaper still, even with all the, stuff with the economy. It is probably cheaper to purchase chicken breasts, boneless pork chops. I mean, steak, maybe not, but chicken breasts and boneless pork chops, small ears of corn on the cob, whatever. It's probably cheaper to purchase those things and grill them at home. Again, assuming that you own a grill, which is could be another expensive thing. But assuming that you own a grill, it is probably cheaper to purchase those things and grill them as opposed to spending $30 for one person at a Taco Bell. Oh my jaw. That's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a little bit out of touch with how expensive groceries have gotten. You know, or maybe the customer base is fucking lazy and or doesn't know how to cook. I don't know. I just know that we yell at them and say, learn how to cook because mm, some of the people that come through every day, it's like, come on, people, buy, invest in a crock pot, or craft large meals that you can divide up and eat for multiple days. Of course, make it something decent, so that way it's not you're not dreading it. But come on, man. I mean, come on. It's not difficult. I mean, there's a little bit of trial and error to figure out what you like and how things kind of work together in a meal. But come on, I don't know. Are we already having a... Wait a minute. We've already got tar. What the fuck? Yeah, that's what I'm tasting. That's what I'm tasting on my lip. Yep, there it is. Okay. We're going to have to draw enhance live. We're going to have to snip and draw. Well, snip I've done before, but draw enhance. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to have to snip and draw enhance live. Alright. Snip. Yeah, it's a clumsy snip. I didn't have enough res. Wait. Wait. I might have salvaged it. Yeah, no, not well, not quite. But we're gonna use the short draw enhancer. Ha. So we're gonna just. Yep, there it is. Oh no! Hold on. Come on. I gotta be a little firm with it. Come on. Okay. I cracked it just a little bit by inserting the draw enhancer. Just a little bit though. So I think let's get that piece off since I was really on this. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right. It's above the band still, so the band will help hold that so that way I don't have to do this complicated finger config. I don't have to do some kind of weird, complicated, finger configuration like I've had to do in the past to just hold something together that maybe was not stored at the under ideal circumstances. Good cigar, I'm looking at you. Sorry, I got a little bitter towards the former company that I used to get my subscriptions from. Bastards. It's a much easier draw. It's a much easier draw. I think maybe if I had snipped a little bit, just a little bit more off, and actually gone with the draw enhancer, maybe I do need to be a little bit more picky about the draw, like Aiden. Maybe. Because he doesn't have the tar problem. Ever. And I don't understand it. But maybe that's it. Maybe it's because he's really picky about his draw. And I'm a little bit more lenient with my draw. Maybe he's onto something without knowing he's onto something. I don't know. Then again, maybe he smokes so fast that the tar doesn't have time. Or maybe he's, fine with tasting it. I don't know. He smokes way more than I do. His addiction has taken quite the root. But, it hasn't financially ruined him yet. So, I'm not really going to start blaming myself quite yet. I told him the other day. I said, I'm not gonna make any kind of argument about you spending a bunch of money on this because it's your money. However, slow down and enjoy it a little bit more. that was my argument. Was because again, he's an adult. He's gonna be 22 this year. I think 22. I don't know. My argument was slow down and enjoy it a little bit more. Because he buys what he likes. And because he's not close by and we're not necessarily going half in on stuff like we used to. We're not trying a lot of, he's not trying a lot of different stuff anymore. I guess I'm not either because I'm not really buying a lot. But it's my argument was to slow down and enjoy it more because I know he's buying stuff that he likes. I know that he is. So should definitely enjoy it. If I had Awe Marias, which I've had a real craving for those specifically, I would definitely be sitting back and enjoy. Just smoking real slow, fast enough to keep it lit so that I don't have to use a bunch of matches, even though I have, 6 boxes. But slow enough to where I could really savor it. Because those Awe Marios are really good. That's just one example of something that I would buy. And really enjoy and savor. For him it'd be the H. Upmans. It would be the H. Upmans. But that's neither here nor there. I guess I get at this point with him and his smoking, he's really at it for the nick because you know he works at the bank or a bank. He works at a bank, and is stressed by different things, and smoking is kind of a de-stress for him. It is for me too, but I'm also here for I'm also here to light up a good stick and enjoy some flavor. Find kind of sit there and go, this is quite nice. It's quite has the spice, has the earth, has the other flavor, whatever. That's what I'm here for. That's kind of what I've always been here for, which would explain why my smoking time has kind of stayed about the same, even though I've been, smoking a little bit now. Uh, but that was my argument, was slow down and enjoy it a little bit more. You know, kind of unwind. Just sit with it, take your time and unwind. You know, I know he listens to these, so he might listen to this one. Get 35 minutes in and go, okay, maybe the old man has a point, because the running joke between him and also my friend, also people I went to high school with, who he did not pick it. Oh, hello. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. He did not pick up the joke that I'm an old man from them. He picked that up by himself, and I pointed out when he started doing this, like, oh, people I went to high school with also said that for years. For years, they've said that. I think the first, yeah, I've always kind of been the old man of the group, or in one instance in college, I was described as the slightly irritated dad of the group, which would be cool, would be really, would be kind of cool, except for, never mind. I'm not going to get into that because it exasperates me a little bit. Because no, I will get into it. I'm not going to be vague. All right. Every single instance where I've been called, like, dad or father or daddy, has been by men, and it's weird. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? What the hell? It's really strange. I mean, the slightly irritated dad comment did come from a woman, but it was one time, and it was relevant to the conversation that was being had. It was like, kind of roles within the friend group, and that was the one that I filled. And I went, okay, whatever. I guess I can see it. I can see it based off of how my dad is, and considering I am his son, I would take after him in certain regards. But it's okay. Something to note here about the stick is, and this is something I like about Serenos, because this is the Wayfarer by Sereno. Something I really like about them is, no matter the stick, right? It's so smooth. It's always so smooth. Even when the draw is a little bit tough, like this was in the beginning, it's so smooth. You know, and that is why Sereno will always be a cigar name that I'll keep coming back to. I will always. I think it's safe to say that I will always have Serenos on hand. You know, the first ever cigar that I really really enjoyed, and I guess one could say fell in love with, was the Taino Heritage by Sereno, right? And because it was just the first one that I ever smoked. I mean, keep in mind that this was during the good cigar days, so we didn't exactly have a lot of winners. Um, was the Taino Heritage, and it was magnificent. It was. I mean, it still is. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The Taino Heritage is still a fantastic blend, but just the smoothness of it, especially when compared to a lot of the others that we got from Good Cigar, was just, there was no parallel. It was great. Which, that being said, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit that the nearest cigar shop that actually sells Serenos, I think, is a state or two over. Which, I could look at the map again and see, which one's the closest, and then kind of see, is it worth the drive? Is it not? I think there is one shop near, I think, 20 minutes from Hanover, which means it's about 90 minutes from where I am, right now. So, It's not too bad of a drive. I could swing by Hanover and say, "Hey, what's going on? Look, it's me. I have short hair now and a facial hair. Much more facial hair than I had in college. Of course, I do plan to shave this off because things are getting warmer, especially since the air conditioner, kind of uh, intermittently stops working at Taco Bell. So I do need to keep cool. Hell, the other day, I think it was Monday. It was Monday. It was Monday. Monday, the air conditioner had stopped working entirely. And what I mean when I say that is not only was there no cold air being generated by the machine, but also the fan, just the fan, you know, just the fan had also stopped working. So, to put that into the proper context, when I arrived at Taco Bell at 9 p.m., it was 95 degrees when you in the building when and that's assuming you're not standing near one of the grills, obviously. Uh, and by the time that all of us had left at 5 a.m., by turning off as much stuff as we could and kind of leaving the window open to help bring in some of the cool night air, it was 85 degrees. We managed to, in 8 hours, reduce the temperature of the inside of the building by 10 degrees. Right? This was properly exemplified by when Donna and I took the first trip out to the freezer just to cool off. Going from a 90-ish degree building to a 10 to 15 degree freezer. We got in there, we were standing there, you could see the heat just rolling off of us. And we were standing there, and I looked at Donna and I went, Donna, I am suddenly aware of where all the sweat pockets on my body are. It was gross. It sucked. I did come home and shower just to kind of wash that off and feel better. Because even though I do really enjoy my really really hot showers, it's the coming out of the shower, coming from that heat into the rest of the house temperature. Kind of, I kind of dehydrate myself a little bit in the shower, but oh god, it still feels great. I just if I get really dehydrated, I just come in and I just pound a body armor real quick. I mean, I've got. Let's see, what size are these? Hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What size are these? These are 20 ounces, 10 ounces, 12, 18. Labels. This is what is the serving size? Serving size is one bottle, but how much is in the bottle? Refrigerate after opening. Well, I haven't opened these, so they're not in the refrigerator. It would be a lot better in the fridge. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to tear one of these off the plastic. Let me go. These 12 ounces. I just chug these. If I get particularly dehydrated after a shower, just down the whole thing right there. And then we go. Put it back on the plastic. There we go. Choked on my own spit. Damn it. But 12 ounces just to kind of revitalize myself after going from hot shower for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, to rest of the house temperature. I don't know how hot the water is. I mean, but it's great. It's good stuff. You know. And I don't go through all the motions in the shower, of course, but I do wash up, of course, but I don't go really super in depth with it like I do when I'm on my normal shower cycle. It's more like it's more a rinsing shower than anything else, just to kind of wash the day off, as it were. But you know, that being said, yeah, fucking Taco Bell. So the air conditioner, from what I've managed to surmise, from hearsay, from everybody kind of repeating what the maintenance man has said, is the air conditioning unit is, and this is just me speculating, is most likely the original unit, from the 70s. From the 70s. So, it's 2024. The thing is about 50 years old. And so therefore, a potential reason as to why the machine is, dying is uh, most likely due to the fact that the thing is, around 50 years old and has been in near constant use for that time. And so therefore, it's an old machine that's, really seen really seen some miles. And so therefore it's just worn out, basically. And so what has been put forward as a, fantastic solution, which corporate isn't going to go for, is that the machine needs to be replaced. What this necessitates is a crane, because you can put all the people on that roof that you want, assuming that the weak spots in the roof don't claim one of them at least. They're not going to be able to get that thing down without an event, and also they're not going to be able to get a new one up there without an event. And so therefore the store would need to be closed, so that way the workers can have not have anybody getting in their way, so that way people aren't pulling in and this and that and getting in the way. So what would need to happen is workers would need to go onto the roof, not fall through the weak spots in the roof, and unbolt and detach tubes and cables and whatnot from to basically free the unit from the building. Then the crane would have to pick up the old unit and place it on a truck or on the ground or whatever. The crane would then need to take the new unit and put it on top of the building, where then the workers would either stay on the roof to help guide it, or go back up there to attach all the tubes and cables and whatnot, and bolt the thing down, because Indiana tornadoes. And I've been saying this, and something that was put forward to me by Aiden the other day was that due to the age of the building and the fact that the roof actually has weak spots that someone as light as me could fall through if they're not careful, what's probably going to happen is that the new unit is probably not going to be able to be, its weight is not going to be able to be supported by the by the building. And this brought up an interesting point to me, that being that every other fast food restaurant, that's McDonald's, that's Burger King, that's even Arby's, that's KFC, have had some form of actual building remodel where essentially they've gotten a new building. I mean, in Burger King's case, and in KFC's case, because KFC became KFC Long John Silver's, they got essentially new buildings, and Taco Bell is the only one that has not, right? And so what was pointed out to me, and what was pointed out to me was this new unit. One of the potential reasons why corporate is basically saying, no, you're not going to get a new unit. No, we're not going to close the store for that, is because they would find out, yes, we need a new building, and they don't want to lose that much in sales, which I get it. I get you don't want to lose the sales, but it's just a matter of time at this point before the machine just dies and cannot be revived. It's just gonna stop working, and because the thing is 50 years old approximately, the parts are simply not available. And therefore, and therefore, if you can't replace the parts and the machine dies, the logical step there is to replace the machine. And given that, it's possible that the building is just not strong enough to support a new machine, they're going to find out, oh, we have to chill out more money now to, replace the building, and this discussion that I had with Aiden led to a discussion about, well, I guess I'll be out of a job, and it's like, well, maybe, or maybe they'll just maybe they'll just share us off to various other locations, and I'm going to have a bit of a drive to other locations. One possible solution to this was I just, get a job at another place. Hey, I'd be gunning for Wendy's. All right. Wendy's is offering base 14 for crew, and also I would have access to their spicy nuggets and the frosty machine. So I'd probably gain about 200 pounds working at Wendy's. Assuming that they do have a similar policy to Taco Bell, where employees get a free meal of a certain dollar value maximum. You know, spicy nuggets and frosties. Hell yeah. But the idea was that I do that, and then because of my experience as management at Taco Bell, would be able to quickly acquire management at Wendy's, and Aiden even threw out the joke that, yeah, you say this and the bank will finally call you and say, hey champ, we have a position open that you could potentially take that pays more than what you're making now, and also you get benefits and several random federal holidays off. It's like, oh wow, that's cool, yeah. And I thought, that'd be kind of ass where, watch the day I make management, the bank calls me up and goes, hey champ, what's going on? You interested in working for us still? We got better pay and benefits. I mean, if put into that situation, I would certainly start working at the bank. I mean, yes, for the better pay, but mostly for the benefits to further cut costs in my budget, so that way, that more pay goes even further. Especially with today's economy, am I right? Did you seriously go out? You did. You did. I thought I didn't take that long. Damn. Alright. 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 Fine. We'll do a relight. Hmm. Hmm. There's a nice sweetness to that. Now that we've moved a little bit further in. It's been a while since I've had the Wayfarer, so now that I think about it, this blend of cigar, which means the original blend, even not the modern blend, was basically the cigar that I smoked when I revealed to my grandmother that yes, I smoked cigars. We sat outside, of course, and just kind of spent time with each other. I smoked. It was good. Showed off all my cool cigar stuff, like my gold cutter, which led to a rather humorous photo being taken on Easter later. That was last year. That was Easter last year, where we were sitting on the porch at my aunt's house, and I said, "Oh, Grandma, we should take a photo together, so that way I can send it off to everyone. As a kind of happy Easter thing, right?" So I had the lit cigar in my hand, and I had my phone in the other hand, and I went, "Here, Grandma, do you want to hold the cigar so that way I can get the photo aligned?" And so I had the phone aligned and was getting it aligned and everything. Grandma was holding this. Grandma put the cigar in her mouth, and I went, "Yeah, that's good, that's nice." I took that picture, and I went, "I'm gonna get yelled at for this because what are you doing letting grandma smoke?" And I thought it would be my dad who would say something. It was one of my sisters, and she did show up, a little bit later after that photo was taken. And she asked me, "What are you doing?" And I went, "What? Grandma's 80 something years old. If she wants to take a puff off of my cigar, what am I gonna do? Say no? I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna put up with. I'm not gonna deal with the consequences of saying no to my grandmother. You know." And I even further reinforced my argument with saying it's fine. She's over the age of 21. It's legal for grandma to smoke a cigar. Which then led to, I think, a few days later, me finding out that my grandmother did smoke at one point in the past, which I did not know, which was interesting. You know, funny and interesting tidbit. A member of the family. I mean, very various members of the family I knew either smoke because it was obvious or had smoked because I was young when they were smoking and they quit. Uh, you know, in terms of my dad, well, there was a point for my dad when he cut back quite a lot, quite a lot. Um, Not so much now that he's retired, which is interesting because it seems, I mean, my dad used to be real heavy in the smoking of cigarettes and drinking. It and for a time he seemed to cut back pretty significantly on the smoking and didn't and cut back somewhat on the drinking. It seems now, to me at least, that he's cut back quite significantly on the drinking, but now he's smoking more. So there's this kind of weird balance to it. I mean, he's he is also an adult, of course. I mean, he's my dad, so presumably he's older than me. So if that's what he wants to do with with his retirement, if that's what if that's what he wants to do, I'm not I'll if he asks if I have any objections, I go, well, Dad, you are getting older, and you should probably be thinking more about your health. That'll be the argument that I make, but I'm not actually going to go so far as to say, Dad, you should stop smoking. I'll just, go, well, consider it, you know, maybe. You know, there are various arguments that I can make, in that regard. Like, well, you should think about your health. You should think about, the money that you saved up to, retire and, do this whole traveling the country thing. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You know, but at the end of the day, it's his decision, and if he asks and I make make those arguments, and he thinks, that's convincing, that's a pretty good idea, and decides to stop smoking or cut back again, I guess, whatever, then at the end of the day, that's his choice, and you know if that's his choice, fine. If his choice is it's my money, it's my life, and he decides to not, again, that's his decision. And that's kind of the philosophy that key members of the family take is, such and such is an adult, such and such can make such and such can make their own decisions in the management of their life, and so as long as I don't end up having to pay for it, then I don't have a reasonable objection. You know, I guess the health thing is a reasonable objection. So I don't really have many. I guess to correct myself, I don't really have many reasonable objections to make. You know, so but that's just kind of it. It's like, all right, you live your life. and insofar as I don't have to pay for it, then that is your decision, and I like it. Yeah, that's that is your decision. There really isn't anything else to say about that. You know, just like with me and my bad habit. I mean, the gotcha addiction was a really, really, really bad habit for me, but I kicked it by myself because I had a financial incentive to do so. Um, you know, Probably should have quit sooner, but I was having a good time. I was having a great time. I was having I say I say I was having a good time, and then I said great, but let's be real here. It was not the greatest time because in terms of Genshin specifically, getting a character is great. It's cool. It feels good, but then that quickly fades when you realize you have to build a character. You have to raise a character. It's it's slog, for lack of a better term. I mean, hell, let me pull up the thingy for Genshin. Where is my cursor? Let me pull up the thingy for Genshin, because, in order to raise a character, at least to the standard that I want them to be raised, let me just find a random character I haven't really messed with. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, to raise a character. This is not weapon, this is not artifacts, this is just the character to the standard that I desire. It'll take about 29 days worth of resources. This is the daily kind of stamina resource because it's Genshin. To do that. So, getting a new character. Sweet, cool, that's great. Building a new character. Shit. You know? I mean, hell, I've been rushing. I've been rushing to build my Arlecchino. I got about 10 days left on her, and today is the day where I can farm more talent books. I'm still kind of um, bottlenecked by the weekly boss stuff because Arlecchino, new boss, blah blah blah, yada yada. I can't really get more. I kind of just that just really depends on chance. But I've been rushing that shit because goddamn, she's so powerful. It's great. It's so cool. It's so cool, and excuse me, and I know the rotation. At least I know the rotation for my current team. I'm still working on her supports, which you know. Mm. But you know, I curbed the gotcha addiction. You know, I basically went from quite a lot of spending to none. I still have the thingy on Seven Nights 2, the first purchase thingy after they reset it. That shows that being a good boy. That being said, I did spend a little bit recently, just a little bit, just a little bit, because in Nikkei, because I really, really wanted that new Marion skin. I really, really wanted it. So I spent just a little bit to get it. It was less than $10. I went, okay. I mean, I set a hard limit. I set a hard limit. I went, okay, if we hit the hard limit, then that's it. I'm shit out of luck. We did not hit the hard limit, and so you know, I mean, I have the I had the money. Well, I still have about half the money in the budget that I had set, but still, I didn't go, oh well, we still got some budget money left. Let's see what else we can get. I didn't do that. It was just like, okay, I got what I wanted, so there we go, cool. I got what I wanted, and I got it, within within the budget that I had set. So cool. We're not gonna spend any more until they release another skin for Marion, and if it's as good as the current one, then well, depending on how finances look, I might just cave again, maybe. God, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to improve. I don't know how they're going to release another, really sweet skin like the one they've released recently. So, you know, I still play the game. I still enjoy it. I still enjoy it quite a bit. So, you know, I do not regret the purchase, and I am not disinclined from future purchases, but I do know to keep it small, so that way I don't, that way I don't jeopardize the payment of bills and whatnot. That and trying to actually save money to get started on other stuff. I got to think about retirement because when I after I've worked since I was see 2018 no 2017, so I was 19. Working since I'm 19, I gotta when I'm 85, I can finally retire, and hopefully I have the money to do that. Otherwise, well, shit, you know, you know. And it's not just saving money for retirement. You know, presumably in the future, I mean, presently even, I would like to purchase a house or a dwelling of sorts, so that way I don't have to pay rent. The only thing I'd have to worry about is, I guess a mortgage, which is, that's a loan. You pay that off. You know, Presumably, in the future, I will still desire that, and therefore, I will also, want to, yeah, do that. I mean, eventually, the car that I have is going to stop working, and I will need to purchase another one. So I do need to make sure I have the money for that as well. So it's not just saving for retirement; it's also just making sure in the future I have money for things like a car, which is you know makes things a lot expedites things a lot more in terms of being able to get to and from my jobs, and presumably in the future I won't have to work two jobs. you know Hopefully things improve in terms of economics so that I can not work two jobs, have a little bit more free time to devote to my gigantic projects, my hideously sized projects, because I guess that's just the thing that I do is get to work on something of scale and then just work it until it's done or until Space Engineers finally fucks me over and I get tired of it. Which reminds me, I need to reestablish the environment in Space Engineers to work on the project I'm working on there. Damn it. Yeah, that's gonna be a pain. That's gonna be a pain. Also, I hope that I have a decent blueprint saved, so that way I don't have to start over. I know I don't have to start over, but it would be a real pain in the ass to have to do some of that all over again, like the engine block, and the bridge would definitely be a huge pain in the ass, but that was one thing that I forgot to back up. I backed up basically everything else of import, except of importance, except for that. The thing that I've been working on since college. That was, let's see, I think I started working on it back when I was a junior, so that was 5 years ago, and it's still not done because of various save corruptions and lack of motivation. Because, well, I was in college, I did have other things to do at the time, and that some call that an excuse, some call it a valid reason. I'm kind of on the fence about it, and kind of, I had a lot of free time in college. I probably shouldn't have spent 6 hours a day grinding Warframe and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, I had fun grinding Warframe back then until Warframe kind of went to shit. But and I'm not really interested in picking that back up. I thought about it. It's like, oh man, I could go in, I could get Harrow Prime, and I could get the Crusader build back out, and then be the only person in the universe who plays Harrow. Which was something that the guys I used to play Warframe with would point out, like, yeah, you're the only person I see playing this frame. It's like, this is a cool frame. It's it's awesome. Harrow's awesome. I don't understand what the problem is. But I guess that's just me. You know, the guy who plays, the guy who plays things that not everybody's playing. You know, I don't really hop on trends. There's a there's a guy in the server who asks occasionally, like, hey, is anybody playing this new game? It's like, no, I'm still playing the games I was playing, because don't I don't really want to, leave them. I don't really have a reason to, per se. I don't have a compelling reason, I should say. And so, I'm still playing the game. I'm not really interested in picking up. I am not interested at all in picking up a new gotcha game because holy shit, that would be. Let's just add another daily grind to the stack. You know, I'm still somewhat hit or miss on I'm still somewhat hit or miss on the stack currently. Let me just stretch my stomach a little bit. Oh, hey, we got viewers today. Hello, hello. I'm just ranting about, you know, the daily grind. And I'm not referring to my jobs. I'm just referring to, the gotcha games. But hey, what's going on? Finally to catch me live, huh? Okay. Let's touch this up a little bit. Yeah, good morning, good morning. Yeah, it's basically my nighttime. Also good to see that the chat window is working again, and I didn't have to fiddle with it again. Every time. Every time Streamlabs decides to have an update, it messes up my mic input, it messes up messes up everything. Yeah, okay, we're still working. We're still working. Messes up everything. This this is the original blend of the Sereno Wayfarer. I figured I was looking through some of the old streams to kind of figure out, do I want to smoke something that I've already smoked on stream, or do I still have options? So I looked through everything, found that I had found that I've had some Serenos. Went okay, all right. So that narrows down our options. Do we want right? Do I want to go with the Maduro Double X this week, or I could go with the Wayfarer. I still have several of these. Uh, I think a piece of ash just flew off into my, you know, hold on. I think I just dropped a piece of ash into my slipper. Okay, it's not in that one. Okay, well, I think the slippers are clean of ash, so we're good. We're good. But yeah, so the Maduro Double X will probably be next week, unless I decide to grab something online, or well, if it's online, it might not be here on time. So the Maduro Double X is probably our safe bet for next week. So there we go. But yeah, I was just ranting about the gotcha grind and how I'm not gonna pick up another one. Even though we got the new shiny game out. I'm gonna adjust the camera so that way I can lean a little bit closer to the mic and also still be relatively in frame. Come on, come on now. Well, it's somewhat better. There we go. It's actually not. Whatever. At least I can rest my arm on the desk. And also just lean back a little bit and still be, not overly far from the mic. But yeah, just the grind. I mean, hell, I've got Seven Nights 2 over on the other screen running, ready for me to switch over to game, but I've just been sitting here. If you still have any of those Liga Privadas, and you don't want them, I will gladly take them. Especially if it's those League of Tenths, because I think you still got both of yours. So, if you don't want any of them and they're still salvageable because I don't know how your humidification situation is, then we can throw them over in my boxes, which are looking a little austere. Yeah, you did. Finally caught me live. Finally, as I you know just these are based essentially these have been up until this point kind of video diaries where I just kind of rant and rave and let the game auto in the background. But if you've got any of those Liga Privadas and you don't want them, hell, if you don't want if you don't want, certain other ones, I'll take them. Sounds good. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Actually, speaking of Liga Privada, uh, when I got the Domino's job at first, I thought, okay, am I thinking that I'm going to want to have a smoke break at Taco Bell because given that I'm part time at Domino's, it doesn't really make sense to take a smoke break, especially since everybody there fucking vapes. So being the old fashioned guy outside, like yes, nice. But I thought, okay, do I want to spend the money to get cigarillos in order to have a smoke break at Taco Bell? Am I going to be under that level of strain? And I thought, oh, let me just have a look. Let me just have a look. I found a great deal online for 100. I found a great deal for 100 cigarillos for $50. Also, this one, oh, it's great. It's fantastic. It's nice and smooth, as per the Sereno name. They've kind of gotten into like a nice leathery flavor. The spice is completely gone. I noticed we've left the spice behind as we've moved into the second third, which I mean, just the leather by itself, a little spice would have spiced it up, as it were. Um, you know, what yeah, a little spice would have spiced it up, but kind of toning it down and just kind of getting more into the getting more into like a more mild flavor for something of this strength is nice. It's still completely smooth, still lovely. I mean, if it wasn't, yeah, I know it only took you what 15 episodes. Which one are we at? Let me check the live stream. That is the wrong window. Where's the live stream? Oh, it's 16. It took you 16 episodes, but hey, you know, you know, how, I don't know. Maybe Streamlabs is suppressing the volume of the playback when I was listening to it earlier. I turned up the gain just a little bit more on the mic, so hopefully I sound fine. Sound all right and decently audible without having to scream on my end or have you blow out your speakers on your end. You know, maybe I should have listened with maybe I should have listened in with the Raycons. 16. Yeah, yeah, 16 episodes. But maybe I should have listened in with the Raycons, or maybe I'll listen to the playback after I close Streamlabs, and maybe that'll restore my video volume. I don't know. Or maybe I just need to. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was talking, like I said earlier, I was talking to one of my guys at Taco Bell. He was asking, what a live stream is, and the way he figured was it was essentially a podcast, but with video. And I went, yeah, it's pretty much a one man podcast. But oh yeah, from the thing, the morphine thing getting out of your back, right? Yeah. I noticed that mom did not come back with another collection of bloodied tools. She also didn't have any funny videos to, show to absolutely everybody. Which, you know, I don't know. Maybe she was feeling a bit out of it that day, or maybe you weren't so out of it, eh? I don't know. But we should definitely, we should definitely, it's getting warmer. It's getting warmer. We should definitely, you know, sit outside, light up, and make fun of my mom like we used to. I mean, hell, I could head over to Low Bob's or something, grab a couple sticks, head to your place, and I could finally teach your son how to properly cut a cigar without trying to cut his finger off. Eh? I promise I will not give him too much hell for that. I still will give your daughter hell for the foot fetish though, because I mean, come on. I mean, come on. It's been a little bit. I have a lot of, I have a lot of. They didn't let her. Oh, I see. Got it. So this was a, you know, no audience this time. I guess since it's dealing with your back and your spine and all the other stuff in that area. It's definitely need to plan something. Right, right. Well, given my tighter work schedule, let me think. Given my tighter work schedule, well, at least somebody does. I've been kind of working off of the austerity lifestyle for some time now, but with the way the budget's been balanced, so, oh yeah, no, yeah, I bet Sniffer needs some hell given to her. Um, But yeah, I've been working off the austerity lifestyle when it comes to my smoking, but at the same time, I'm also just kind of I smoke like twice a week for the most part. This week's been kind of abnormal in that regard to where I've had maybe one or two more. So yeah, I talked about the one I had yesterday morning where it was heavy in the spice department, but actually burning my nostrils. I'm pretty sure I teared up at least once, and so I slowed down on it to you know because I didn't want to really feel that, but at the same time also increase the length of time that I could enjoy it for. You know. Also, side note, Christmas for you guys is still here. I have not taken the time to drop it off, and also, you know, yeah. So, yeah, Christmas is still here. It's May, so I mean, I can drop it off in July. So we can make Christmas in July jokes if that would be funny. It would be funny. It would be funny. It would actually be really funny to go, hi, it's me, Bad Santa. I'm here. It's July. Here's Christmas. Enjoy it. I've enjoyed holding on to it. So, besides, the one gift that I purchased that I showed off to you, I'm still quite excited for it. I'm still quite excited for that. But anyways, returning to a point that I was making earlier, is with the work schedule, things are, my free time is quite a bit, is quite a lot tighter than it was. Not to the level that it was during internship. Your new work schedule. Right, right. So, let's see. With the current work schedule, the days that would work the best, because Wednesdays are still my free days, sort of. When I'm not running running my weekly errands and trying to knock out stuff on my to-do list. So Wednesdays are still the absolute free days. Let me think. Thursday, I'm off of Domino's, so something nice. Right, right, right. Um, Thursdays before Taco Bell. Be out in the sunlight and the fresh air. as we pollute the fresh air with the smoke from the smokes, as it were. Um, that would be nice. Saturday I am usually see Saturday I do work at Domino's and then I come home and then it's Deb stuff if we're not if we're not actually running, which Aiden Wednesdays would be good, yes. When we're not actually running, which Aiden has given up the reins of running the campaign to me because he does not enjoy being the showrunner. He definitely enjoys more being an actor as opposed to the director, as it were. Which I'm fine with. I'm fine with both roles. Um, so there's that. You know, but that's it. We've limited that to every other Saturday, just to kind of well, I've kept it every other Saturday so that I can review Aiden's campaign notes, which are, well, let's just say they're unfinished, and so that'll probably end up being a discussion at some point. It's like, okay, well, once we get to Act Two, I'm gonna have to either start writing myself, or I'm gonna have to dig into his mind and see what he wanted. That way I can deliver that, as it were. Yes, right. But yeah, and then I don't know. It's May now, and with the speed that we're going, I don't know if we'll be able to actually start and finish the other planned campaign by the end of the year. I mean, it might be cutting it close. We might be going, "Hey guys, it's January and we're done, yay!" But when we go to the other campaign, which is quite a bit longer, uh, I shouldn't say quite a bit. With the pace that we're running at, it's kind of you know, um, it might be about the same length of time. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I still have to do a lot of writing for the upcoming campaign. It is a 50 campaign, so it does have some length to it. There will be events. The players will be put through trials, of course. The whole thing of story fans going absolutely ballistic when a character you know performs actions to advance the plot and blah 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 and whatnot. All right, we've gotten to the second third, and you just don't want to cooperate anymore, do you? You just don't want to cooperate, do you? Okay. Well, I've got 6 boxes of matches, so we will cooperate. Oh, of course. Oh, wait. Yep, the band is starting to slide. Cool. If I didn't already have one of these bands, then I would definitely be adding this to the collection. I'm just gonna slide the band up a little bit where it's tighter right there. I'm not gonna peel it off quite yet. Let me actually wait. Yeah, let's go ahead and strike a match here. Real quick. There we go. Nice easy strike, since I'm being a lot more conservative with the strike phase, considering, how many matches are inside the box. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so you might have seen this on, I think it was last week's live stream, but when I went to Walmart, right, they have these, I guess, kind of little mini cardboard pallet things of matches. And let me actually put the 6th box back in its slot so that way the totality of this can actually be observed. So I just went there, went matches, excellent, and then just bought 6 boxes. I just took the whole mini pallet thing. These are like 97 cents. The one thing that the economy being as not so great as it is now, didn't really seem to affect too much. Is my lighting supplies. I did find out that Walmart, just generally speaking, does stock butane for the torches. However, the local Walmart does not, and it's just really confusing because they really don't stock any kind of good lighter fluids that I would consider using for cigars. That being said, the other week I did completely run out, absolute absolute zero on the matches. So what I did was I used the Beast, to relight one. It was a diesel, so it was rough, and basically just kind of kept it alive, going, please don't go out, please don't go out, please don't go out, because I have as it has been, yeah, basically for a while, I would hope at least a few months. Right. I mean, stoked also works. I mean, it's fired, but hopefully I'm good for a few months. But when it came to relighting that diesel and just sitting there going, please don't go out, please don't go out, please don't go out, it was mostly because I have somewhat lost some proficiency with using the torches. I still understand, I mean, I still have the basics, but the muscle memory still kind of isn't there because I really don't torch light that much anymore. I use matches, you know? Hmm. Leather and a subtle sweetness. That's nice. But yeah, I've definitely, stocked up. I've also, I mean, matches aren't the only thing I've stocked up on now. My snack pile has increased significantly, and not just due to the fact that this week at Taco Bell has been employee appreciation, in which the higher ups say, and we're not going to give you a raise. That wouldn't be useful at all. We're just going to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of crap. Today was lottery ticket day. You know, so there were scratch offs at the store, and I didn't even bother with it. It's not a snack that I could make off with. So I mean, yeah, there's the possibility of money, but with the scratch offs they bought, it was a maximum of $20, and yeah, $20 is $20, but considering the actual likelihood of grabbing that $20, it just wasn't. I just was not there for it, and it's also Friday, so I was more clenched up, ready to get absolutely decimated, especially since McDonald's is doing that thing again where they pretend to be closed because they're a bunch of lazy shits. And so, in response to this, I will once again petition the factory crowd to mass call corporate in order to get them to stay open. They've got some excuse now where they're like, oh, we're doing routine maintenance, so we can't take orders. Like, hey, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You people just want to stand outside and smoke. I see you out there. I see you out there all night, just shooting the shit and, smoking. It would be lovely. It would be extremely lovely if, me and my guys could do that. But no, no, we're, we do the business, and, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, the higher ups were complaining, oh, sales have only gone up by like 0.7% on night shift. This is unacceptable. It's like sales are technically still up, and even if we're holding steady, you're still making a profit. But since McDonald's is pulling their bullshit again, and we're getting the full, we're getting the 100% of the shaft. Yeah, but we're getting 100% of the shaft to if we're getting 100% of the shaft from the factory people, I think our sales are well on their way to rising to, I guess, the levels that the higher ups deem appropriate. You know, and also the fries are back, so of course people are going fucking gaga over them as they do, and all of us in the building hate it. All of us in the building hate the fries. You know, some people. Oh, hello. Well, hmm. Yeah, this. See. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. I mean, new guy. Welcome. Welcome. 5 years ago. I don't know about 5 years ago about the gold standard for technology and ethics. I think things kind of took a turn around the early 2000s. That's when it started, and then from there, um, things have declined quite a bit. And keep in mind, I'm still relatively young, and so my perspective might not be the best for such things. Yeah, yeah. Everybody's gaga over the fries. It's ridiculous. And since we have the large fry now, you know, we've gone from people ordering, two to three fries per order, and now we have two to three large fries per order, which makes my whole bag dropping method, uh, pretty, pretty effective for keeping up our stock, at least until somebody screws up on the truck, and we don't have any anymore. In which case, that's a victory for us, the employees, but the customers. But right, you know. But yeah, McDonald's is once again on their nonsense to where oh, we're closed because of inserts, valid sounding reason that's just a complete falsehood. And so, since no other place, no other, fast food or even regular restaurant is open, you know, as late, McDonald's is supposed to be 24 hours as a reference. Actually, yeah, African culture. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. I'm not overly familiar with the intricacies, of Africa and their culture, but that's an interesting point to look into. I mean, I should have some free time this week to look into it, and you know, there might be there might be quite a bit of a point there. But like I've said during other streams, I think that there, I like to maintain, some optimism, which is a far cry from how I was, yeah, right. Well, like I said, they're back on their nonsense. But I like to maintain, it's some optimism. It's optimism tempered with some with I would it's optimism tempered with pessimism. Um, yeah, well, maybe not tempered, but maybe balanced per se. It's I think I said during one stream where I'm going to prepare for the worst, definitely. Well, at least insofar as I can. But I at the same time I will also be optimistic that things will not take a turn for the worst. And so, you know, um, kind of, be optimistic that, well, I'm hoping that the future, gets better, or should I say, things get better, and so therefore the future is better. But at the same time, if things take a turn for, the negative, I'll be ready to where things can be maintained. With the primary things being, my current lifestyle. Of course, I'm always seeking to improve that, which is why I had that one stream where I essentially sat here and yelled at myself for I think it was 30 minutes. I could just run, and that manifested in me, running through a couple of my games here, going, all right, we're gonna get these dailies done. We're, let's get it. Kind of really adopting that mentality, and sticking to it. As I think I said during that same stream, I had I had said, it's one thing to eliminate the negative habits that I have, kind of fallen into, over the course of these years. But that isn't enough. If you don't take those negative habits, remove them, and then replace them with positive habits, then you're kind of you're kind of leaving that space open for those negative habits to return. Which I think that, I mean, perhaps I am, tired and a little bit inebriated, and so that wasn't, elucidated in the best possible way. But it made sense to me when I said it again just now. And so on that front, I have been thinking a lot that, I've still been doing well with the removal of the bad habits. At the same time, I have not been doing so great on the implementation of positive routines. You know, I like to. I still make excuses in my own head, like, oh well, it's fine. Tomorrow will come and I can do it then. It's, I keep telling myself that, and so as a result of that, as a result of that thinking, I've been, you know, slowly, incorporating, those positive routines in order to, to put it, with what I had said previously, um, filling that space, because if, like I said, if the space that the negative habits had once occupied are not then reoccupied with positive habits, then it makes it really easy to fall back into old bad habits. To give a prime example, on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, so just a few days ago, I thought, okay, yeah, it's gonna be really good. I got a free day. I'm not gonna be able to go to the clinic, unfortunately, due to mm, I'm not gonna be able to go to the clinic due to the bruise still hurting and yada yada yada. I'm gonna get things done, and then I slept in until 6 p.m. Which, you know, on one hand, working these two jobs and kind of being really strict about the sleeping schedule and whatnot, getting a little bit of extra rest was certainly nice. On the other hand, none of the things that I had aimed to get done were done. And so, to kind of transition just a little bit, the don't beat yourself up about it. This was something else I had said in another stream, is that the people around me, you know, family, colleagues, and, yada, 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 and whatnot, aren't going to hold me to a standard that I find to be satisfactory for myself. And so, therefore, I must hold myself to that standard. And that's why, the whole, oh yeah, basically, I mean, there's a little spot here on it. It's not going to be visible on the camera due to its quality. But there's basically just a little green spot. It's about the size of a nickel, so it's healing. It's taken about a month. It's taken about a month. It's not purple anymore, which is fantastic. It's also, again, the size of a nickel, so that's really good. I should be good. I will definitely be good to go by Wednesday, so I can, run up there to the clinic, get that done, come back, and then I'll be able to implement the second run, which is, I'm aiming for Sundays, because, Saturday, it's usually I go in to my second job a little bit earlier on Saturday, so it's not exactly feasible, in terms of the time, because I'm balancing rest with, everything, balancing rest with work. They got me good. Yeah, they did. We're talking I don't know, about a 6-inch bruise, from about halfway up my bicep to about halfway down to halfway down my forearm, and the half on the bicep turned purple. Yeah, it was really bad. It was really, I got all kinds of questions about it from people. Like, what happened to you? And then I would say, oh well, clinic, wasn't the greatest experience at the clinic. That being said, that time when that led to that bruise. I mean, I still, I still managed to complete everything. Still managed to get the donation money. So that was a little bit of extra money in the pocket. Not, as much as I could have gotten, but at this point, it's a kind of take what I can get. Press on to take a warm spoon. Huh. Interesting. I will remember that next time. I will remember that next time I get if they, again, speaking to my own optimism here, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But in the event that it does, a warm spoon. So, okay, it's just, what, run it under some warm water, or, whatnot, and then just, kind of lightly press onto. Okay. That's something I can remember, definitely. Especially, especially because in this particular instance, not only will I avoid questions about such things, sort of, but there in this particular instance, there is a somewhat of a financial incentive, to get that extra money. Helps loosen the dry blood. Yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense. Yeah, no, I certainly hope that it doesn't happen again. But at the same time, I get it. They've got a lot of new people in at the clinic who aren't necessarily experienced with the whole locate the vein, make sure the needle is, properly, make sure the needle is where it should be, so that way, things like that don't happen again. As long as I don't have another incident where the blood goes from me to the machine, and the machine tries to return it to me, and it ends up outside my body. That was kind of freaky. I mean, I'm not squeamish at all. No, I was more alarmed because it had not happened before, and also it's a machine, so it wasn't going to stop the return, and so therefore I would have lost. Therefore I would have had, I would say, about, in terms of fluid ounces, maybe about 10 fluid ounces. Right. See, yeah. So, but I would have ended up with about 10 fluid ounces of blood on my, the right side of my shirt. No, no, not at all, not at all. It's, I understand why it happened. In terms of what happened with the left arm does have rolling veins, so someone with experience is going to need to at least oversee the process if I go left arm again. The right arm is fine. There's enough scar tissue built up there that it's kind of seated things properly, and there's even the camera's not going to pick it up, unfortunately. But hey, I'll try. There is I guess you could call it a scar, I suppose. Let me see if I can angle the arm correctly. But right there, right below where my thumb is, there's a little spot. Misconduct, right? Well, I could ask about it and see, hey, this happened. There's several people there who, witnessed it, and even the ones that caused it. But uh, that, like I was saying, there's a spot on the right arm. Call it a scar, as it were. That is basically the, hey, this is the point where you poke, basically, where you poke to get the to get there. It did not. It did not. It did not stop me from going to work. It just stopped me from going to the clinic. I didn't lose any kind of range of motion or anything. In terms of the left arm, though, it did hurt just a little bit to extend my arm all the way out. But due to some due to some other events that had happened during childhood, I don't really extend my arms all the way out. Just as a motion. True, true. Money is money, especially today, especially today. And in terms of what the money from the clinic is being used for, well, you can see it right now. I'm doing it, right? That's my cigar money, right? But yeah, that's my cigar money, and also part of the reason why I've kind of been on the austerity path, as it were, when it comes to when it comes to keeping keeping a nice varied stock. Uh, I like to think of it. I like to think of having a nice variety of different cigars. In a similar way to some people think about their diet. To be nice and what's the word? Nice and diverse, I suppose. You know, I there are some there are some cigars that I really do enjoy quite a bit. well, well, it's it's lovely. When the coworker who introduced me to this, introduced me with it. He was like, "Hey, I just want to try this," and I went. He asked me if I wanted to try it with him. I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I used to smoke cigarettes. This is adjacent. Um, but I'm here like I said earlier, even this stream, and I've definitely said multiple times over the course of other streams. When it comes to the cigars, I'm here for the flavor. Definitely here for the flavor. Um, but like I was saying, I like to keep a nice diverse range of different cigars, so that way I get a nice range of different flavors, different strengths, and whatnot. And also in the instance that I do have company over, which is still somewhat rare. Having a nice range of things to offer for different palates. As with food, different people like different things. It's the similar concept with cigars. Right. Well, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in and sitting and have conversing and whatnot. It's been nice. It's been nice. This stream has been rather unique. In This stream has been rather unique in actually being able to interact with chat. On top of having people to chat with. So this isn't necessarily a video diary. And yes, as it is 8 in the morning where I am sitting, enjoy your day. If it is day, if it is night, then enjoy the night. Or if it is something in between, then well, enjoy that something in between, as it were. I'm here. I try to be here at 6:15. Every Saturday for the weekly smoke. For the weekly smoke and ramble. Sometimes that time can vary. Either way, I was a little bit late today. Um, but it's yeah. Have a good day. Have a good day. Or night or whatnot. And after this, I will be going to bed and enjoying my attempting to enjoy my Saturday as much as I can, of course. Well, hey, certainly, certainly certainly you are welcome to to sit in and and listen and converse and whatnot. Um, it's it definitely livens things up. Looking up at the stream timer here, I realize that we're almost 2 hours in, and usually at about the hour mark, I switch to having the game on in the background while I continue to ramble. But this has been nice to where I've just kind of just let it go in the background doing its automatic thing. Yes, take care, certainly. You know, and yeah, looking forward to you know conversing next week. Certainly. We're getting down into the final third. I estimate that I'll only be here for about another 30 to 45 minutes. So, yeah, this has been quite nice. This has been quite good. Glad that the interesting to see that it seems that the algorithm is bringing in the putting me out there, so that way people who are you know maybe curious, maybe wanting something to listen to, maybe maybe whatever reason, click on and see what's going on. Yes, yeah, it certainly has. Certainly has been a lot of fun. Not just sitting here essentially talking to myself. You know, which thinking back when I was when the channel was much younger, one of the things that I had learned about kind of making videos without an audience, and now that I've kind of dipped my toes into the live streaming side of things, one thing that I learned is you have to know how to talk to yourself. um, this is why during the gaming content, and basically everything that I do on this channel, really, I'm not really leaving too terribly much dead air. It's definitely apparent during the gaming content, which I really, really, really need to catch up on. Which actually, I'll get to that as my next point. Also, thank you for sharing it out. Yeah, it'd be interesting, certainly, to have a regular audience for things. Can I? Nope. Okay, Streamlabs is just not okay. But you have one of the big tip that I learned was, while you're kind of out here. Oh, hey, that's cool. Okay. Well, hey, share that to me. I'll if I'm up and free while he's online, I'll drop in and go, hey, what's going on? Being recommended for gaming. Uh oh yeah, I had set the stream as as a gaming stream. However, conversation has kind of taken has kind of taken over. But as for the reviews, last week, I believe, last week I was free. No, I think it was Wednesday. Either way, either last week or Wednesday, I had successfully recorded four different reviews to help me catch up. I still need to actually figure out how far behind I have gotten, and then kind of make up for the posting without being spammy. Um, yeah, I haven't I haven't switched over to the game. I've been engaged by the new audience that has kind of trickled in, as it were. But yeah, yeah, normally at about the hour mark is usually when I go, okay, yeah, we've sat, we've spoken, we've rambled, you know, and usually I switch over to game. But yeah, I guess I can go. Can I go in on the back end? Oh, I can. No, I cannot. Hold on. Can I adjust this? Yes, we can adjust this on the YouTube side of things, I think. Maybe not right now. Hold on, I'll get it. I'll get it. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go, there we go. All right, I've navigated correctly. Let me see. Can we live edit this? Can we live edit this here? Because I watched one of your Baja reviews a little while back. I think I remember seeing your name somewhere. Maybe on a comment on a video, which hey, I always love receiving those. I had pointed out today even. Here, I'm gonna switch this over. I'm gonna switch that over to people and whatnot. That way, because we're probably not gonna get the game. Let's be real. But yeah, I always like receiving comments on the live content videos. Um, one today that I had pointed out was on a video I had made back in college, where it's titled "Rate My Consumption," of course by me. I was much younger. I had much more hair. Well, I had much more hair here, not here, so it's probably about the same amount, really. Um, but yeah, I'd pointed out that somebody had commented, this could be an interesting commentary on broke college kids, and my response to that was, well, I am broken in college, so hey, I do fit the criteria. And for some reason tonight, that got a nice laugh out of me and the other guys. Um, Doing local food and drink reviews. Well, see, the thing with that is in my area. So, in speaking in the most, I guess, speaking in simplest terms, in when it comes to local, there isn't really a lot, and I'm not really, I'm not really of, I'm not really hardcore into the food and drink type of review. I kind of just do the Mountain Dew stuff because throughout college, I was the Mountain Dew man, and the reason for that was because uh, I always had my standard college issued water bottle filled with Mountain Dew, and given that it was college, occasionally I would leave the room to go to class without changing my clothes, and this was back when I had a set of Mountain Dew sleeping pants. They have since disintegrated and have passed on from this world, but I would always wear a Mountain Dew shirt with that, and so I would just go out with that. So I would have a water bottle filled with this, you know, I would have a water bottle filled with Mountain Dew. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. I would the Dr Pepper ones, right? But I'd go out, essentially with my water bottle filled with this, fizzy green liquid. I mean, I don't drink, alcohol, so that was off the table. But I'd also be, with the shirt, with the pants, I'd essentially be a walking advertisement. And so people who did not know me personally, and would just see me would, refer to me as the Mountain Dew man, and it would always be really funny, at club stuff where I would be there, and people, new people would come in and go, oh, "You're the Mountain Dew man." It's like, yes, yes, I am. Here's the water bottle. Because that's pretty much all I drank throughout college, and so I kind of thought, well, I'm interested in trying the new dews. So why don't I make like various other review channels, and devote a portion of what I do. Wow. Devote a portion of what I actually do on the channel to sampling, tasting the new dews, and giving my thoughts and opinions on them, for whatever it's worth. And um, just doing that. And yeah, I've really fallen behind. Oh, let me scoot here so I can stretch my legs a little bit. I've been sitting kind of crisscross for a little bit now. My knees and ankles are a little stiff. You know, that was something I just, well, considering that the citrus cherry is no longer available, Code Red is back on its throne at number one. But I figured, why don't I just do this, just for fun. And then I thought, you know what, this is definitely something that I can stick to. This is definitely something that I can stick to for the do reviews. I have a fair few. I actually need to check. Actually, I need to check the the Google Drive to make sure that they did not. Okay. So I needed to check the Google Drive to make sure that my phone had properly uploaded the videos. I did not. No, that was actually the dragon in the frame back there was actually a gift from somebody many, many years ago. Kind of as an appeasement of sorts. Yeah. This way, I am about 2 months overdue for a haircut, and considering things are warming up, especially at Taco Bell with how the air conditioner doesn't want to work, I do need to go get trimmed. I also need to trim all of this, shave about 5 years off of my face, But right, yeah, no, the dragon was a gift from someone a long time ago, and it's so cool. Yeah, so I, of course, kept it hung up and everything. I have forgotten what I was saying. Blah blah blah. Mountain Dew. Right. Yes, catching up. Yes. So I have the videos. The watermelon is always in frame. The watermelon is always there. It is a staple of the channel, and I will have it. I will have it. Whenever I'm not doing the do review stuff, since I don't want to paint or print. It's a print. It's a print. The AC still isn't fixed. Oh, the AC's gotten worse. The AC's gotten worse. But the picture is a print. It's a really nice print. And so yes. Blah blah blah. Mountain Dew. Catching up. Basically just need to go into the back end of YouTube and go, okay, when did I post, my last, because I do operate the dual schedule here, where Wednesday or Thursday, one of those two, is the kind of general content day, not necessarily gaming, though now that the do stuff is kind of dried up, I do need to kind of think about what to put on that slot. And then the Saturday slot, not barring the live stream, since that's kind of something that's relatively new, is the Saturday slot is the pure gaming, doing the Breath of the Wild hard mode playthrough, in honor of Dan the Boy, which is why all those videos, the first sentence in the description is this is for you, Dan, because I did tell him that I would play through Master Mode, and yeah. Oh, they need to get that fixed. That's nice. That's nice. That's cool. I want to get more kind of prints and paintings and whatnot to kind of decorate things, but wall space is not unlimited, and as of right now I am limited to this one room, and so wall space is especially limited. And so I do have to kind of pick and choose what is, what I choose to have, what is on the wall, as and so I'm not really, buying, but definitely once I have a domicile that is, entirely my own, I will be able to, really, I guess, expand outward and, kind of, what's the word? What's the word? Kind of spread things out, and then since I don't have overly many, things, given the size of this room, there will be a lot of space to then fill, which, I mean, first time kind of, moving into your own place. Something else to match your other 3D print. Interesting. you know, once I kind of, actually spread to, an entire, apartment house, whatever, whatever it is, there, once what I have is then spread out, there will be a lot of space to fill, kind of first time moving out things, start painting. Yeah. I've tried, I've, I've tried my hand at, traditional, pencil and paper drawing. I really kind of delved into it in college. Since I had a lot of free time, and it's one of those things that had it's it draw art in any form is one of those things where you can make up for it in certain areas with talent, but if you don't have talent, then you make up for you kind of get on the level, as it were, with practice. And depending on style and whatnot, and what each person finds to be appealing to them, the uh, bu- 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 the amount of time to actually become proficient is variably different. At one point, I I had a sketchbook, a blank sketchbook, brand new. I found it, and I didn't know whose it was, so I just kind of went, well, this is mine now. I no longer have it. I did pass it on to someone else who was far more artistically inclined, and you know, uh, so I no longer have the sketchbook. Uh, in terms of what I do when it comes to art and whatnot, I am certainly more of a writer. I do occasionally mention it, but the big tabletop RPG project, you know, you can build systems, you can build all rules and whatnot for everything, but if there isn't an actual world for those systems and rules to be put into action on, then it's missing something, you know. And that's that is what I have. That is that's a big part of the project that I've been working on for these 6 to 8 years at this point, is working on rule sets and everything, but also building a world. You know, um, I have a few. Let's see. I have a few. I have a few amateur maps that I've kind of worked on in the past, which I do need to get back to working on, because I mean it kind of helps with the kind of helps. Right, exactly, yes, yeah. You know I and recently, especially, I've been learning different ways to kind of weave the story. Your foreshadowings, your Chekhov's guns, all that kind of stuff. Kind of being more conscious of the implementation of those things throughout the story in order to enrich it and kind of keep things in. In terms of a tabletop RPG, there's only so much of that you can do, though, as part of it is a big part of it is the player interaction. I don't railroad, not at all. That's something that I learned quite early on as the dungeon master, the game master, whatever you prefer. Um, Something that I learned that you really don't want to do. The dungeon master has a certain measure of control over things. I would say difficult in this instance, I think, could take a variety of meanings. Uh, in some cases, it might be a lack of inspiration. Writer's block, happens to people and whatnot. In other cases, the term difficult could actually refer to the actual size of the thing. So in this instance, with what I'm working on, an entire world. Think something like D&D, where it has your main world where things take place, but there are also other adjacent worlds that are also doing things and whatnot. And so just the sheer size of it, I would definitely agree, is a source of difficulty just because of the gargantuan size of the project. In terms of just myself, I have no shortage of inspiration. I do like to, take little things, make little nods towards the games and shows and whatnot that I play and watch and everything. Make or break. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. The plot, when it comes to tabletop RPGs, especially, you can have the absolute tightest rule set, and to where that the mechanics work. There's no real kind of plunger in the gears, as it were. It's really the story, and I've been really improvisational with it up until this point, and it's worked to a certain extent. But you can definitely see the rough. You can definitely see how rough the edges are, especially after a certain point where a bigger picture has been established, and a bigger picture has been established, and you can definitely see the roughness of the edges. And so my learning about different things that writers have done and invented and this and that have definitely helped to kind of smooth those edges to where things I think have things I mean it's not an instantaneous process by no means, as stories do take time to establish and get going. But the roots of it are there, and I just at this point just really need to keep on it to where those roots can then grow into something that is something that is interesting, that keeps the players wanting to come back to find out, okay, what kind of story is old GZ gonna throw us into this time, you know. Mm. I am entirely self-taught, and let me get this relit, and I'll go into that actually. No? Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to strike a second match here. Um, but yeah, self-taught. Basically, what I have done in order to teach myself is I have, I've been a player as it, I've been a player in these games, and I've observed how the dungeon masters that I played under do things, and I've I've seen I've seen how they do things. I've seen what they do. I've reflected and thought, okay, this was a good thing. This was a good this was something that I like. This is something that this is a kind of style that I want to incorporate. And so it's kind of right, yeah, no, it yeah, and what I was getting into is I've taken kind of what I've seen, what I've experienced, and I've kind of attempted to mimic it, and that works to an extent, the mimicry, but at the end of the day, it's still me, masquerading someone else's style. And so over time, which for reference, I have been, doing the Dungeon Master thing for, let me see, it's 24. I was doing this back in around 15, so almost 10 years, 10 years next year. So what I've done is I've kind of taken that base of what I've seen and experienced, and kind of worked with it, and over the course of working with it, have been kind of adapting it to be more me, and be less be less of a kind of a hollow mimicry, as it were. um right, yeah, exactly. And just basically what I do is I will find something that I like, in terms of a storytelling style. I will take what I like, look at it, and go, okay, how do I incorporate this into everything else, and then incorporate it so that it's uh, incorporate it to where it's not causing any kind of problem, because you take if you take even two styles that are similar but have some pretty sharp contrast, it's not exactly going to work out. So I've kind of taken what I've liked, tried to sand the edges as much as I can, incorporate it into the greater picture, and then kind of play with it and see, okay, is this working? Is it not? If it is working, then fantastic. If it's not working, figure out why it's not working. Kind of reflect on that, and then kind of continue to sand those edges again, reincorporate, and go, okay, is it? Ask the question again: is it working? Is it not? Let me actually get this properly lit up again. Well, we're most of the way there. I'll pop it a little bit, but for reference, if we look back to my first ever campaign, back almost 10 years ago, the way I operated was essentially on the skeleton of a plot line. You know, and I think that metaphor actually fits pretty well. Is I would establish a kind of a point A, point B sequence of events, and then from there I would rely on the players to provide, to kind of keep with the skeleton metaphor, the meat, the flesh. And considering the considering the the variability that comes with different people and different players, though. Right, okay. Well, I mean, the art and design, the aesthetic is also really important, especially for especially if you're working through a visual medium. That's that the the design of something, visually, is becomes the core. Plot kind of maybe takes a back seat, depending on the piece. um, but as I was saying, the I would operate with a skeleton, and then you rely on the players to provide the meat, and then just kind of improv it from there. And when it comes to that first ever campaign, it sort of worked. Kind of, sort of. Things got a little bit out of hand at times, but that's where it becomes my job as the dungeon master to kind of rein things in, and I, of course, would do that as necessary. The friction between the actual people in the group did not help, which would require more reining in on my part when things got a little bit too too wacky, a little bit too out of control. You know, but going from just that to going from just a skeleton, and then comparing it to the way I'm working on stuff now, to again stick with the metaphor, you could say that I have the skeleton, and I've got let's say the muscles and the organs and whatnot. It just doesn't have any skin. This is a weird this is a really weird metaphor. you know and so from there, when it comes to the skin, as it were, that's what I allow the players to provide, is the skin. which I mean, if you, I mean, to kind of go down a little bit of a darker path here, if you take the skin off of any human and just see what's underneath, it's pretty much the same. It's the the outermost covering, the skin, that is what makes us all look different from each other. I mean, and so that's kind of what I'm working with, and just learning. We could access. Let me see. So the Google Drive is technically accessible for anybody who has the link. It is incredibly disorganized at present. I mean, it's more organized than it was, don't get me wrong. It is incredibly disorganized, and considering the size of the project, I would say that I don't even really have a skeleton to start with. I've got scattered bones. Once things get a little bit further along, well, maybe a lot further along, to the point to where the Google Drive is organized, some more core pieces, bones as it were, to stick with the metaphor, are ready to go. That's when I actually intend to make videos about the project. Hey, this is the tabletop RPG I'm working on. Set in this world, and here's some of the here's some of the history of this world that it's been written out by by myself with assistance from my nephew and one of my roommates in college, and whatnot. But it's not presently in a state to where I would be pleased to show it off. Especially right now with what I've got on my to-do list over there on the floor. There's definitely some I guess kind of backbone stuff that really needs to get done before anything else. I did do a short map making stream. Let me pull it up on YouTube because this was a while ago. Let's see. I did do a really short map making stream. Where is it? There it is. Let me grab that link. Let me grab that link. So what I'm about to post here in the chat is a link to that stream all that time ago. Can I please get to the stream? Let me just mute that so that way we don't have any. So what I'm about to post here in the chat is a link to that stream where I was working, kind of, just like I said, amateur map making hour. Right, yeah, and yeah, so there's the stream right there. From when? This was a while ago. This is one of my first live streams, actually. That was back in May. That was almost 3 years ago now. But yeah, to the point about the methodologies, I didn't, in the beginning and even pretty deep into the median of, my sum total experience, I didn't really have methodologies, right? And so I had to kind of figure out, okay, being the way that I am, I needed some, I guess for lack of a better term, I needed my own standardization for how I wanted to do things. And that was what I started to develop and work with in college, when the development cycle of things was actually really quick. It was, I was putting out all kinds of, little updates, weekly, since I had so much free time in college. And I want to kind of get back to that, because now the difference between then and now, other than the lack of free time, is I actually have rules for how I do things. I actually have rules and kind of standardizations for how things get done, what they look like, at least in terms of how things can look on just digital documents of text. um, and things, with the interest of keeping it so that it works mechanically without being imbalanced, but also so that it works in a way that makes sense towards the established rules of the world. Um, and one of the big developments about just the fundament, kind of the bones of the world, to kind of go back to the bones metaphor, was okay. Why does this world exist? What is there some kind of big picture conflict that's going on? And so I did develop that, and upon kind of setting that down and going, here it is. This is what we're this is what is at stake. This is what is going on. From there, everything kind of springs. It's kind of like the root almost. To kind of mix in another metaphor. I really like the metaphors. It's good, but it's also not good at all. And so just establishing that, and then also getting also just kind of bouncing ideas off of other people has kind of helped out a lot. This has gone out again because I have gotten so excited just speaking about this. Let me try and get it really properly relit. Let me try and get this really properly relit so I can finish up and hit the bed. Come on. Alright, let me take a few puffs here, see if we're still good to go. But you know, like I said, bouncing ideas off of someone else, that being my nephew in this instance, was quite the boon, as it were. And kind of getting feedback from another perspective about what I'm doing is has been an absolute boon. And of course, I do get feedback about the mechanical stuff from the players. Mm. Sometimes they see things that I don't, since they're the ones actually, the ones that are, I guess, operating the machine, as it were. And excuse me. And so, yeah, that's that has been really good, and it's also led to kind of, the presentation of other ideas that didn't come to my mind. Is like, oh, that's good. That's let's incorporate that. Let's figure out how to kind of get that to work with things. And that's and so me and my nephew are kind of working as a kind of two-man team, or we were working as kind of a two-man team for a little bit. I really captivated my third roommate in college with it, and he's there, providing his feedback. He's doing, he's taken an interest in certain aspects of things, and I've let him take the reins on those because, as my nephew had said once, um, it's if the entire thing were to be written and built up from essentially nothing to start to finish just by me, it would be kind of samey, even with the development of the better storytelling and whatnot. It would still just be entirely from my roots, and so therefore you know you kind of get into my thought processes, and that there it is. And so things of thing by presenting what I have to to the players, and then the players taking an interest and saying, well, hey, can I work on this? They've that's helped immensely. It's kind of brought some more flavor, as it were, to things, you know. So we're tarred up again. We are getting close to the end though, but that's what it's been. It's been, I mean, I've been working on this for. I mean, the first campaign was supposed to be just kind of a one-off campaign. Whatever. I'm just trying my hand. See if we can have some fun. And then actually, it's actually pretty neat what ended up happening was the original kind of reason for going into this like this was just to expand what is already there, and then after a certain point I started thinking, well, what if we didn't just do that? What if instead I had my own thing? And so that was where that kind of took off. And from there I kind of had from there I developed an actual game developer mindset where I had to keep an eye on, in terms of the mechanics, I had to keep an eye on balance. In terms of storytelling, I had to make it so that things were interesting and not not overly predictable. You can't have a story of just plot twists, because eventually that runs out. That gets really stale. So you need to have a logical progression. You can put in your plot twists, certainly, but that is something that is sprinkled in to kind of season up the story. Add some spice to it. And so that was what was happening there. Just adjust here. And so just part of it is as to, part of it being the lacking free time for certain things. Other parts of it being the just having to work on both sides of it, as the main guy, as it were, kind of presents its difficulty. It definitely adds to the size of the project, since I am working both things simultaneously. But it's kind of what I knew on a basic level, and then as I've actually been working on it, selecting a piece to get ready and get it going, that has really sunk in just how large of a project this is. Just taking just the narrative side of things. I think, and I have to open the Google Drive for this. Uh, let's see. I think, just working from just the narrative perspective. Is it in this folder? It is in this folder. Okay, good. I guessed right the first time, and I don't look like a moron. Just working from the narrative side of things, there are, in the way things are, working now, we've kind of set things on a 20,000 year scale, and I don't know, you can have any level of knowledge about history to point out that 20,000 years is a long time. And so a lot of things, events can happen in that time. And so, kind of filling 20,000 years with history and events, and in not just that, just what makes up history, civilizations, people of renown, and whatnot, and how the past shapes the present, which then shapes the future, and all of that. Just the sheer size of that alone kind of put things into perspective. And then looking at what needs to be done on the mechanical side so that people can play this game. That is a different and arguably bigger, more fearsome beast to tackle in its entirety. Um, like I said earlier during stream, taking a lot of inspiration from D&D Pathfinder, you know, for the mechanical side of things. Narratively, not so much, but just taking a lot of inspiration from those things. Dungeons and Dragons has been, well, let's say it's got a storied history. It's been around for a little bit, and so there's decades of trial and error and refinement and different things that that go into that, and kind of you know I'm essentially standing on the shoulders of giants, trying to reach for reach for my own heights, from that point, but I have to build the mechanisms and whatnot to actually allow myself to reach those heights, as it were. And yeah, it's an absolutely gargantuan project, and I do not estimate that it will be done anytime in the near future. But with that being said, I do intend to definitely keep at it. Try to establish a steady working pace, to where things get done and get done to a standard that I approve of. I definitely think that would establishing that is going to be key, and that kind of brings us all the way back to a point that I made earlier this stream, and even in other streams, where removing the bad habits, creating the good habits, and whatnot. But that that's kind of I mean, it's not a this build this project is just that. It is a project. It's not my job. It is not you know it's not something I'm getting paid for. It's not something I estimate I'll get paid for. I mean, if I do, that'd be great. But I mean, that's I get the kind of optimism tempered with realism thing that I brought up. You know, this is just something that I'm going to eventually go, hello world, here it is, and then we kind of see from there, what the world says about it. Whew, this has been quite the stream. Whew, quite the stream. I am not so sure how some people. Yes, yeah, I do it. Yeah, it's a it's a passion project. It's definitely for fun, and I definitely enjoy it, even when the motivation is not exactly there. I was before stream, when I was waiting to take a shower, I was working. I was one of the systems had caught my attention, and I went, okay, let's at least do a cursory look at it and see if I can kind of get started on it. And well, I've got a start. In the 20 minutes I spent on it, I've definitely got a start, but it's going to require quite a bit more work. And that's just for that I mean, it's a pretty integral piece. I'm not gonna minimize it at all. It is quite a core critical piece that will definitely need to be dialed in and work well. But yeah, I definitely still enjoy it, even when the motivation runs low, even when I think, this can wait. I'm tired. I want to sleep in a little bit, or I gotta go to work, or I gotta run these errands. Oh, yeah, yeah. See, the tiredness, since this is about 3 hours after when I normally go to bed, as well as the inebriation from the smoke are definitely catching up to me at this point. Luckily I'm not hotboxing. Otherwise, I would really be struggling. I would have been struggling about an hour. I would have been struggling about 2 hours ago. You know, yeah. All right. I think we're safe to peel the band off. Finally, after 2 hours and 45 minutes, we are finally safe to peel the band off, and it is going to be a clean peel. I said it's going to be a clean peel. Thank you. Ah, lovely. A lovely clean peel. This is a nice band. I mean, got the black, got the gold. You know, definitely. I definitely like the kind of black and gold aesthetic. Get some rest soon, soon. I don't like to end stream unless the smoke is finished, and the smoke is not finished. We have a good 2 inches, which is to say, we have about an inch and a half before we get down to the nub, and I'm burning my fingers and my mustache. I mean, I'm going to shave it off, but I don't want to smell burnt hair. I also don't want to experience hair burning on my face. So I think we'll light up. I think we'll strike just one or two more matches, depending on how this wants to cooperate or not, and kind of just sit back a little bit. Really relax. Because I've been sat up because I've been excited, like, oh, hey, I get to talk about the project. Even though I don't have too much to show for it quite yet. I mean, I have a bit, but not as much as I would like. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to scrub my lips a little bit. This is tarring up just a little bit, and I don't dare snip any more off. But yes, definitely the most successful stream. Burnt hair smell is the worst. I don't know, some of that calcium stuff that I managed to break out of the sink a couple months ago. That was rancid. That was rancid. I think it would take burnt hair over that. Luckily mom couldn't smell at the time, so I had her kind of you know clean up the little mess that I made. And as for the water mess, I took care of that because yeah, that was that was all me. That was me being a little clumsy. But I know better now when it comes to the art of disassembling a sink in order to attempt to remove calcium from the pipes. So I just need to go get more vinegar and find a suitable container in the house in order to actually soak those pieces properly, so that potentially we can break quite a bit more of that stuff out of there. It's tricky though, because it's calcium buildup from years, maybe even decades. And the calcium, you've got layers of calcium, right? Because hard water. And then there's also hair that has been swallowed by the sink over the years that has gotten stuck in there, and then more calcium has layered on top of it, and so the hair kind of you know reinforces the structure, as it were. It's gross. It's so gross. But this is what happens when you deal with plumbing. It kind of gets a little bit nasty. But it's house maintenance. It needs to be done. So eventually, I will have the necessary free time, and also remember to get the vinegar and source the container to actually do this, and then just make sure that nobody uses the bathroom sink while this is happening, because that's going to create quite a mess. All right, you want to wash your hands after the bathroom, you got to use the kitchen sink. All right, at least until I disassemble it. But that'll be a little bit off because the kitchen sink's fine. yeah, just oh yeah, it's oh I think I might sleep in just a hair today. You know, because I do want to go get a haircut. Very true, housemaid is yeah. I do want to get that haircut. You know, I don't want to procrastinate that too long, and I don't know what time the haircut place closes on these weekend days. You know, so gotta get out, gotta get that done. You know, good, and then go to bed a little bit earlier on. Today Saturday. You know, just to make up the difference. It'll feel great. You know, when I don't have my horrendous nightmares, sleeping is great. It's fantastic. It's a little bit, you know, still off on Saturdays. I'm off from Taco Bell. I'm off from Taco Bell. Um, this week at Domino's has been rather odd, as I do have today off from Domino's as well. So today is effectively another free day like Wednesday. So that means that I will be attempting to get some things done that I couldn't normally do with the extremely limited time that I normally have with the cramped work schedule. We'll see how much of it actually gets done. At minimum, as long as there's still light outside, I can shave because I do shave outside, so that way I'm not getting hair clogged into things, and it just returns to nature. You know, but yeah, I'll be free today. I'll be free today, and it'll be good. It'll be nice. I can relax. Aiden will come over. We'll have our excuse me. We'll have our smoke. We'll have our discussion as we normally do, and that'll be the whole of it. But the taking care of self with two jobs, I did not do that well during the internship. Since that was much more strict. It was a much heavier hourly requirement there. I mean, I was pulling 80, 90 hours between the internship and the related work and the Taco Bell. So going down to going from that back down to about 40 and then going up to about 65 on average. You gotta there's an adjustment there. There's an adjustment there, and it's been pretty easy. Whew, excuse me. Mm. It's been pretty easy, all things considered. I mean, especially by comparison. But that's it's still an adjustment, and I still haven't 100% gotten everything kind of battened down and planned the way I'd like it. Partially due to the clinic thing being the biggest thing that I need to get established. Because going once a week like I was for that little bit because of adjusting and recovery time and whatnot is nice. It's a little bit extra money, but it's not the maximum that I could receive, and so therefore, it's I gotta make another little adjustment in order to actually get it to where I want it, so that way things. Ooh, ooh, mm, okay, so that way things can you know be in a better place in a variety of areas. So that's the goal that I'm making steady progress towards. It's slow progress, but it's definitely steady progress. So eventually I'll get there, and like I said, hopefully eventually things do get better. Maybe to the point to where two jobs is nice in a way, but not exactly not exactly what I desire. Entirely. You know, I do like having my free time. And at this point, wanting additional free time mm, does come at the cost of, since I can't really bring it at the cost of my work, my jobs. it comes at, that would come at the cost of rest, and that's not gonna work out well, at all. And so, kind of, making the adjustments, going, okay, here's what we can change here, here's what we can change there. Let's change just a couple things at a time, so that way we can see, is this working, is it not? If it's not, then, again, make the change. If it is, then hold steady and develop those positive habits. Ooh, let's see. I think I'll take this to about an inch and a half, since it's kind of tarring up, and I'm kind of fading out here a little bit. Well, no, I think it's telling me it wants to be done. So we'll leave it there at just over an inch and a half. Yeah. I'll go scrub my lips and do dental and whatnot, and hit the bed, get some good rest for today, and attempt to grab some things on my to-do list and cross them off, as it were. Well, not even as it were. That is what I'm actually doing. So this is the point to where I will let everyone go. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for chatting. This has been a fantastic stream, and certainly looking forward to next week, and also certainly looking forward to getting the YouTube stuff on the back end, so that way I can release that steady stream of backed up content. So if nothing else, you might see me in the car reviewing some Mountain Dew. You might see me in Hyrule, running around, getting things done. But if nothing else,